Today's military strikes by the United States and Israel mark a catastrophic escalation in an illegal act of war, of aggression. Bombing cities, killing civilians, opening up a new theater of war.
Screaming for help while they have been massacred. Instead, they remained dead silent. And when this rescue operation was enforced, was the first time they spoke up. We're talking about the mayor of New York. We're talking about Congress people. This is the first time that they have spoken up, not to defend the Iranian people, but to defend the terrorists that have been massacring them. And that just tells you the greatest truth of all. That just tells you that the mask has finally fallen. These people who tried to lie to you, who tried to tell you that they were all about humanity, were lying from the beginning, and now the proof is as clear as day. It was never about humanity. It was never about human rights. It was always about...
So let me get this straight. So Khomeini is dead, right? And the Islamic regime in Iran is pretty much falling apart. We will see what happens next. But you have Representative Ilhan Omar is not happy. Mr. Captain Mark Kelly is not happy. He even made a video going off on President Trump. Well, what are these guys doing? And then you have AOC, who wrote a letter to President Trump condemning his attacks. But yet you have millions of people in Iran and in the United States of America who fled Iran due to this regime celebrating. Where and why is there a disconnect between Iranians in Iran celebrating, and then you have people in the United States of America? Zohran Mamdani came out and condemned President Trump. Zohran Mamdani, out of all people, Zohran decided to come out of New York City and start talking about President Trump being wrong. So I'll show you guys exactly what's going on here. And we're going to start off here with Representative Ilhan Omar. So Representative Ilhan Omar got a crazy fact check. Here's what she said that went extremely viral. She says Iraq was attacked by the United States. During Ramadan, and it is sickening, she says, to know that the U.S. is again going to attack Iran during Ramadan. The U.S. apparently loves to strike Muslim countries during Ramadan, and I am convinced that it isn't what these countries have done to violate international law, but it's about who they worship. Then she got a fact check. And by the way, here's my problem with them. You can have whatever opinion you want, but when you never talk about the Christians who died in Iran, the 30,000 protesters, these people have never condemned anyone. They don't condemn them. And then they come out of nowhere when it starts to go down, defend Venezuela. Well, next they're defending Cuba as well, while the people that actually live there are begging Trump to help. There's a huge disconnect, and I get it. I'm one of those people. I don't want prolonged wars, but this is nothing new. Trump has been literally going after Iran and promised to go after Iran. There's a lot of people on the right wing acting very surprised that Trump did this. You can say he did it for Israel, but in reality, this was the plan all along for him. So just keep it real. Just be consistent. So let's actually fact check. So the fact check here is that none of the Persian Gulf Wars started in Ramadan. First Persian Gulf War in 1990, which is the 10th of Muharram, 1411 of the Islamic lunar calendar. Second Persian War was in 2003, which is 16 of the Muharram, 1424 of Islamic lunar calendar. So it never fell in Ramadan. What's even crazier about this statement from Ilhan Omar, when she talks about Muslims and Islam and Ramadan, guys, guess who Iran is attacking? They literally shifted from going to the west to going to the east and start shooting missiles at Dubai, at Qatar, Muslim countries during Ramadan. So miss me with that BS, man. First of all, I don't even care, right? But since she cares that all of a sudden these are happening because the United States of America is trying to disrupt Ramadan, look what she's worried about, right? And so she got a crazy fact check. And in fact, she even got called out by Nancy Mace. Nancy Mace says she didn't care when over 1,000 Jews were slaughtered on Jewish holiday. Maybe sit this one out, terrorist lover. So you got all this going on. You got Nancy Mace going at Ilhan Omar. You got AOC writing a letter. She apparently wrote a letter. Why is she writing a letter about this? Well, because you can always guess which side of the aisle they're going to be on. I mean, when you look at Times Square and you look at all the supporters, you can always kind of predict what is going to happen in the United States of America when it comes to leftists who always happen to catch themselves in this predicament and siding with these people who are very anti-Christian already and have killed their own individuals. Now, again, you can be anti-war, but still understand that these people want them gone. They want a regime change. They're calling for it. And Trump just so happens to be the guy that answers that. So here is what Times Square looked like, right? Times Square, they have a bunch of signs. When you look around, their signs are saying, stop the war in Iran, get out of Iran, stop the war on Iran. So they're over here defending the regime. So again, let's go back to AOC. So AOC loses it. And by the way, they're getting humiliated. So AOC says, Trump's combat operations in Iran. The American people are once again dragged into a war they did not want by a president who does not care about the long-term consequences of his actions. This war is unlawful, it is unnecessary, and it will be catastrophic. Now, again, we don't know what the results here are. We don't know what the results here. But the fact that these people never speak about the atrocities that happened in Nigeria with the Christians, right? None of them supported the Christians. These people are anti-Christian, in my opinion. So most of the time when we are talking about this, and again, the debate is always there. People criticize me for my stances on Israel and I try to keep it 100 with everybody that I talk to, because I try to be as consistent on these beliefs, because when they get challenged, you have to be able to defend them. But all of a sudden, these people are attacking Trump for taking out Khomeini. So, Mr. President, this was not an inevitability, she says. This is a deliberate choice of aggression when diplomacy and security were within reach. Were they? How does she know that? She's a congresswoman. So that's her letter. Then you have Captain Mark Kelly. I mean, this thing just gets even worse. Everyone is happy that Khomeini is taken out. The chance to basically stop these guys from building a nuclear weapon. And again, when you talk about the monetary systems and taking out Iran, taking out Venezuela, this is literally not just about Trump doing it, but it's about the United States of America's future, right? And what is going to be the United States' future? Well, you can say that Israel's using the United States, or you can go and say, well, the United States of America needs to have some type of control over the Middle East. But we can have that conversation another time. Here's Captain Mark Kelly. And Captain Mark Kelly. Let's just go to Mark Kelly. Remember this guy? He made that treasonous video that Trump was talking about. Here he is going on a rant as if Khomeini was his best friend. Take a listen.
Hey, folks, this morning, the United States, while this administration launched a major attack on Iran, as I see this, hey, there's no real plan here. And often these things do not go the way people think they do, especially the people that don't serve in the military, like this president. Often they're the ones that think every solution is to drop a bomb. And by the way, this is the guy that got us into this mess anyway. He, in his first term, he ripped up the Iran nuclear deal, which then put the Iranians on a path to further enrich uranium. Did that strike this summer that operationally was a success. Strategically, as we see now, not so much. So I'm really concerned about troops on the ground in Iran. We don't need that.
There are no troops on the ground. Guys, Khomeini is dead. It took less than 24 hours for him to drop like a fly. Meanwhile, no United States military men or women was killed in this. What are they defending? It's one thing to be anti-war and say, you know what? We tried diplomacy. The United States did what they did. I hope it all turns out well for the country. I'm back in the country 100%. We got to figure this out. But we are not praying for prolonged wars. We don't want forever wars. Everybody knows that. So Trump made this decision, excuse me. My God, I'm having an AOC moment. And this guy's freaking out about it as if people are on the ground. They're not. So here we go. Right? Now we have Zoran Mamdani. Oh, man, it gets worse. Zoran Mamdani. So we have an Iranian woman, an actual Iranian woman. And again, the reason why I'm criticizing them, it's not because they can't have an opinion. Everybody's going to have an opinion on this. There's a lot of people on the right that I love that hate this. But my problem is that people are so inconsistent, especially on the left. And so here we have Zohran Mamdani.
Just want to read what exactly the New York City mayor said. Today's military strikes on Iran, carried out by the United States and Israel, mark a catastrophic escalation in an illegal war of aggression. Bombing cities, killing civilians, opening a new theater of war. Americans do not want this. They do not want another war in pursuit of regime change. They want relief from the affordability crisis. They want peace.
Oh my God. I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. I live in New York, Mr. Mamdani. You are more than welcome to come to one of my safe house. You're more than welcome to come and see my would-be assassin in the federal court. You didn't even dare to come and face them. Where were you when they sent killers here in New York City? You were crying for your aunt because she stopped using subway for simply in an illusion statement you made saying that she didn't feel safe because of wearing hijab. Really? I stopped using subway because of the would-be assassins being sent to beautiful New York City by the Islamic Republic. I know maybe you and many other people, they hate President Trump, but believe me, this is not the right time to shift your hatred and your anger from President Trump to the people of Iran. Innocent people. We are better allies to you, America, compared to these backward mullahs.
Wow. And this is how a lot of Iranians feel. Like they really feel this way about Americans that think they know what's going on out there. So again, and I want to read this because I thought this is very interesting, right? And again, like to go back to the point of Trump, this is not the first time. It's not the first time. Remember Trump took out Soleimani? Remember that? Like this is not the first time Trump has this is not the first time Trump has struck countries, right? This is his whole saying is literally peace through strength. So we shall see how this works out. Do I have worries about it? Of course. I'd be lying to you if I didn't think that this could get out of hand. But when you come to think about it, Khomeini wouldn't be dead if these other people wouldn't gas him up. There's so many people gassing these countries up as if they're the most untouchable. You don't want to go to war with Iran. You don't want to step to Iran. They're going to take out the United. Bro, it took less than 24 hours for the main leader to fall. He has no aura. How do you fall on the first day? Anyways, back to Trump. So you heard Mamdani get called out, right, by an actual Iranian who there was assassins from the Islamic Republic literally going after her because she's an Iranian American, anti-Islamic regime journalist. And so she goes after Mamdani. And now we go to Trump. So I saw this, and Greg Gutfeld actually reposted this, and I saw it. It popped up on my timeline. And it's from William Wolf, right? So apparently what's clear from Maduro raid and today's strikes is that forever wars were a choice. This is one of the most important things to me, because when we talk about forever wars, there was a lot of money that was made by the military-industrial complex. That's why a lot of people are anti-military-industrial complex. So when you talk about Trump, and I'm going to read this post, it says, the fact that a billionaire real estate playboy who liked to slap his name on steaks and wine has proven to be a better diplomat and military strategist than every politician and foreign policy expert over the last 30 years is such a damning indictment on the DC establishment. I honestly don't know how they recovered. I thought this was very interesting because it covers the fact that when you look at the forever wars, when you look at the invasion of Iraq, and by the way, Netanyahu said that there were weapons of mass destruction. He was in Congress and said, we got to take out Saddam Hussein. There's weapons of mass destruction. There was no weapons of mass destruction. Trump is literally on stage talking about that George Bush made a mistake. That's where a lot of people's worry, left and right, but mostly a lot of right wingers that voted for Trump have come out and said, man, I can't believe we're doing this again. But are we doing it again? That's the question. What happens next? What happens here? Are we going to get a Venezuela 2.0? Because you have letters being written by AOC. AOC is galvanizing her crowd to be like, oh my God, I told you he's getting us into a war. Captain Mark Kelly talking about, hey, there's I can't believe we're going into another war and these things never end. And, all these things. But in reality, we have to see how this plays out. It looks like it's playing out in the way that Trump wants it. He's going for 4 days a week, bombing all the sites, taking out all the people that hold all this weight, and to see what's going on. But again, we shall see. We shall see what happens next. I think that's a better conversation than just flat out, basically never talking about Christians being attacked, never talking about the innocent people that have died, and always kind of just going against Trump and standing up with the Islamic regime of Iran. Really? That's what we're doing now? You're standing with Maduro, bro? I'm anti-imperialist. Like, that talking point is so ass. Like, I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of the anti-America shit, man. I really am. So here we go. So again, so apparently, again, Nancy Mace, say what you want about Nancy Mace, right? My heart goes out. She says, my heart goes out to Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib tonight, sending them thoughts and prayers because Khomeini is dead. Like, come on. And again, so this is in the United States of America. I think I want to make sure that I verify where this is at. Yeah, this is in DC, right? A lot of Iranians that fled, and there was a lot of Iranians that fled Iran, right, over the last like 40 something years, right? They not only fled, they fled to the United States, Canada, they fled to the Netherlands, they fled to Australia, and they're all rejoicing because maybe one day they feel that their country can be back. I mean, I've been seeing a lot of pictures from 1979. I bet people call that propaganda, but man, Iran was top 5 in 1979, right? Before the Islamic Revolution, before the revolution and the Shah was overthrown. So these are the people, they're outside, they're celebrating, and this is in the streets. This is a verified video in the streets, verified by a bunch of news outlets of a whole bunch of Iranians partying in the street. Now, there's some Iranians that, again, are just like in Venezuela, that they didn't like it. They're attacking the U.S. embassy. There's some of that, but most of them, a lot of them, are very, very happy that this happened. But yet, the leftists in the United States of America are not happy. And this is in Iran. Videos from Iran, people partying and celebrating. And then I got to show you one more of a high school kid saying something about Trump here. I love Trump, he said. I love Trump. So apparently they're happy. I mean, bombs are dropping. So again, Trump laid out the message that as soon as everything is over, that they should go and take over, that they need to take over. But here's an Iranian, one of the most popular Iranians, descendants, an American, a very proud American, by the way, by the name of Patrick Bet-David. And I want to close out this video by showing you guys this message. I've been a fan of this guy for a very long time. There's a lot of things he might do that I might not agree with, but it doesn't matter because this point right here is so good.
The supreme leader of Iran, Ali Khamenei, is officially dead. They killed him. They found his body. Reports came in. Let me tell you why this is big. This is not killing a president. This is not killing a prime minister. This is not killing a king. You're killing the supreme leader of a religion. This is number 2 to God. They killed. And by the way, the last time the supreme leader was alive, I was in Iran. It was June 3rd, 89. When he died, Khomeini, I was in 5th grade at a school called Gulbenkian, and it was chaotic in Iran because their hero died. This guy didn't die. They killed him. By the way, according to reports, 81% of Iranians hate this regime and they want it to be changed. Not 61%, not 51%, not 31%. Nearly 81% want this person to be gone, and he's gone. So what happens next? Trump killed Qasem Soleimani, reputation. Now he kills the supreme leader, combined with a couple different countries. How many people are on IRGC side? How many countries? Maybe a handful? Who's supporting them? Who? You don't think people are sitting there saying, well, about 180 countries are against you. Why? Because how many countries go around the world saying death upon America, death upon America, death upon infidels? Who says that? You don't think the president and his team wanted to negotiate with you guys to say, just say you're never going to have nuclear weapons? No, just for 3 years so you can be out and then we can get another Biden in and we can go out there and do all that stuff. So look, whether you're not happy about this because you're an anti-war person, which I totally get. No one wants war. I lived there as a kid. I saw people dying and no one wants that. it was the most anxiety, panic as a little boy. Nobody should experience that. Till today, certain sounds still get me because I go back to being a boy, and I was in the U.S. Army here. Nobody wants to see this happen, except maybe if your name is John Bolton and Lindsey Graham. But for everybody else who is wanting the world to be a safer place, if this gets quickly like this and everybody else sits around and says, hey guys, they're about to kill you and your kids, and you, who's next? Let's just work with these guys. What do you want to do? Guys, we're done. Surrender. Put the flag. We're done, guys. What do you want to do next? Let's make it work. Let your people go elect somebody they want as a president, whoever it is. Let's go back to having good diplomacy. Let's stop being the agent of chaos in the Middle East, and let's make it a safer place. So, very interesting day for me, because I'll never forget June 3rd, 89. Never. I was 10 years old, about to be 11. So, a great day for a lot of people that feel liberated, and none of this would have happened without President Trump. Many presidents have talked a big game. None of them had the brass to make the decision. You got to give him respect. While he's in the heat of moment with everybody saying you shouldn't do it, you shouldn't do this, they planned it out different than the way they did Venezuela, and they got Khamenei. Obviously, let's see what happens next. They could retaliate, but I think we will see fairly quickly what their next move is going to be.
Yeah. So again, attacking Muslim countries. Ilhan has been talking about that. They're attacking Muslim countries. Guys, guess who's attacking Muslim countries right now? Iran is attacking Kuwait, is attacking Dubai's airport, attacking the buildings. I mean, talk about Ramadan. So let me know what you guys think about all of this, ladies and gentlemen. It's a very interesting time. Again, I'm praying for the best. I can only pray for the best. The only thing that I have control over is the fact that I can pray for the best, prepare for the worst. I, just like you, do not want a prolonged war. We don't want that. We don't want any boots on the ground. And if we can be successful without that, I think this is a major win for Trump, ladies and gentlemen.